Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the new chapter, that is testing of IC engine. So in this chapter, first we are going to discuss what is our is required. Why? Because with the development of the internal combustion and their testing procedures, an engineer task is to reduce the cost of the engine and increase the power output. So we are going to increase the efficiency of the engine. So the aim of the engine testing is first is the to get the specified information which cannot be possibly determined by the calculation, and to justify the rating of the engine and the guaranteed specification fuel consumption we have to determine. Next, third one is the to verify and confirm validity of engine data used for designing the engine. So while designing such kind of the engine, BIS has published certain standard information. Now we know that the whatever in for the various purposes, such as the first we know that the most useful part of the engine is the to develop the brake power. So heat is converted into the useful work, that is brake power. Next, second one is the heat rejected by the cooling water, and third one is the heat carried away by the exhaust gases, and fourth we are going to be considered, that is the heat loss to the surrounding by the way of radiation and so on. So these are the certain losses of the or certain utilization of that power developed inside the engine. So related with this, first we are going to discuss the some performance parameter. First one is the brake power. Brake power we are going to be defined as the we are saying it as a BP, and the power available at the output shaft is called as the brake power, or we are also calling it as a output power also. Next, second one is the mechanical losses. What is by mechanical losses? Mechanical losses means the sum of the losses and the pumping losses are called as the mechanical losses, or we are calling it as also frictional losses. So while operating the engine, accessories like water pump, dynamometer, these are making certain loss of the energy, and this is called as the friction loss or friction power. Next, we are going to saying that the indicated power means what? The indicated power is denoted by IP, or which is also called as the theoretical power. Now the power produced within the engine cylinder is called as the indicated power. So it follows that the out of the engine power produced, indicated power is equal to the sum of the brake power and the friction power. So that's why we are saying that IP is equal to BP plus FP. Now, formulas used in the IC engine testing. First, we are going to see the piston velocity. We are measuring it into the meter per second. That is, we are going to calculate V is equal to 2ln, where L is the stroke length in meter and N is the engine RPM. Next, single cylinder indicated power we are going to calculate by PLAN divided by 60,000. We are calculating this power in kilowatt, where P is the indicated mean effective pressure, L is the length of stroke in meter, A is the cylinder bore area, we are calculating it in meter square, and N is the RPM. We are saying N is equal to RPM cycles per minute of for the two stroke, and for a four stroke we are taking it as N is equal to capital N upon 2. Keep in the mind, for two stroke we are taking N is equal to capital N, but for four stroke we are taking N is equal to capital N by 2. So while solving the numerical, this is most important, how you are going to take the value of small n. Next, in multi-cylinder, indicated power is equal to PLAN into X divided by 60,000. Just see the difference between these two formulas is just we are going to multiply it with number of cylinder, and this X indicates the number of cylinder in multi-cylinder engine. Now general formula, that is the brake power BP is equal to PMEP LAN into LAN into N in divided by 60,000, where MEB is the brake mean effective pressure, which we are going to be substitute in Newton per meter square. L is the length of stroke, which is we are going to take in meter. Capital N, capital N we are going to take as a RPM cycle per minute, or N is RPM cycle per minute for two stroke, and N is equal to N by 2. And here we are taking small n. This small n you can take, or you can take the X. This is the number of cylinder representing. Next, area remained. Area, capital A is the cylinder bore area, which we are going to take in case meter square. Next, we are going to consider brake power for rope brake dynamometer. That is, BP is equal to W minus S into RB into 2 into PA into N divided by 60,000, which we are going to calculate in terms of the kilowatt, where W is the dead weight, which is we are taking in Newton. S is the spring balance, which is we are taking in Newton. RB is the radius of brake drum, which we can calculate capital D plus small d divided by 2, which is in meter. And capital D we are taking as a brake diameter in meter. Small d we are taking as a rope brake diameter in meter, and capital N is the engine RPM. So brake power for pony brake dynamometer we are taking as a W into L into 2 into PI into N divided by 60,000, which is in terms of the kilowatt. Next, friction power, which is a difference between the indicated power and brake power. That's why we are saying it as a as a IP minus B. Next, mechanical efficiency. Mechanical efficiency, this term is very much important. Mechanical efficiency is the ratio of BP upon IP, or whenever we are considering related with the specific fuel consumption, that is ISFC upon BSFC. Or whenever we are taking in terms of the efficiency, it is brake thermal efficiency upon the indicated thermal efficiency. So in this way, we have seen the some formulas. Next, we are going to see the indicated thermal efficiency. Indicated thermal efficiency is equal to IP upon MF into CV, where IP is the indicated power upon MF is the mass of fuel consumed, which is we are taking in kg per second, and CV is the calorific value of the fuel burned, that is kilojoule per kg. Next, brake thermal efficiency is BP upon MF into CV. See, the difference between these two formula, whenever we are taking indicated thermal efficiency, we are taking it as a IP. But whenever we are going to take the brake thermal efficiency, we are taking it as a BP, that is the brake power upon MF into CV. So in this way, we are memorizing these formulas. Next is the brake specific fuel consumption. This fuel consumption is required to produce the power for the fuel consumption for the brake, producing the brake power, that is BSFC, that is MF into 3600 upon BP. Whenever you are taking in the denominator BP, that is BSFC, but whenever you are going to take the IP, you can see next formula, that is ISFC. ISFC is equal to MF into 3600 upon IP. Next, piston speed. Piston speed is equal to VP, which is we are going to calculate in meter per second. That is 2 ln divided by 60. So where L is the length of the stroke and N is the RPM. Next, mass of the air, we are going to calculate mass of the air is equal to density of air into area of orifice into velocity of the air, that is rho A VA. So rho is the density, AO is the area of orifice, and VA is the velocity of the air. Next, area of orifice, we are going to calculate pi by 4 d square, that is DO we are considering, that is diameter of the orifice, and velocity of the air which we are going to calculate CD into square root of the twice GHA, where you can see CD is the coefficient of the discharge, HA is the height of the air column, and G is the acceleration due to gravity. Now in this part, this is interesting that we are taking the head in terms of the water and we have to convert in terms of the air. So HA we are going to calculate HW upon rho HW into rho W upon rho A, where you can see rho W is density of the water and rho A is density of air, and HW is the height of water column, and HA we are going to determine height of air column. So volume of actual air sucked, that is we are going to calculate VA is equal to A into under root twice GHA into 60 meter cube per minute, where suction volume VAC is we are going to calculate in meter cube, that is swept volume, that is Cc into 10 raised to minus 6 into N by 2. So volumetric efficiency is the volume of actual air sucked upon the theoretical volume of air sucked. So VA by VS we can calculate. So just 1 meter cube is equal to 1000 liter, then 1 meter cube is equal to 10 raised to 6 centimeter cube. Next, air standard efficiency, we have just in previous lectures we have seen the cycles. So air standard efficiency is equal to 1 minus 1 upon r raised to gamma minus 1, and relative efficiency is equal to thermal efficiency upon air standard efficiency. So these are some formulas which we have seen. So in the next part, we are going to discuss the heat balance sheet. So heat balance sheet, this is the most important factor, or we are saying that this is the most important parameters, and that is heat balance sheet is we have to study, because this heat balance sheet means what are the parameters we are required for the heat balance sheet that we are to be discussed. So first of all, we are going to see what is meant by heat balance sheet. Heat balance sheet means what? It is just like an account balance sheet. Okay, just keep in the mind. Account balance sheet means what? Just it's saying that the how much input is given and that input is utilized in how much ways. That gives you the heat balance sheet. So that's why we are defining that the heat balance sheet is an amount of heat released on combustion of the fuel in the combustion chamber and its utilization in the engine. So in this way, we are going to calculate the heat balance sheet. And to draw the heat balance sheet, various tests are carried out on the engine. While the engine we are going to run on the constant speed. So this heat balance sheet is necessary information is concerning for the performance of the engine is obtained from the heat balance sheet, and in order to draw the heat balance sheet, a complete test on the engine must be carried out while the engine is run at constant load. So first we are going to see that is the heat supplied, how we are going to calculate the heat supplied. So heat supplied is the energy supplied to the engine in the form of the fuel supplied to the engine, and its heat being released during the combustion. So heat supplied is equal to mf into cv in terms of the kilojoule per minute, where mf is the mass of flow rate of the fuel which we are going to take in kg per minute, and while cv is the calorific value of fuel, that is in terms of the kilojoule per kg. So keep in the mind mf we are going to substitute in kg per minute, and cv we are going to substitute in terms of the kilojoule per kg. So this is first heat supplied we have seen. Next is the heat expenditure. This is important. Heat expenditure or heat utilized means what? Heat energy of the fuel is partly converted into the useful work, and that work we are calling it as a break power, and the remainder is carried away by the for the cooling water, exhaust gases, and some of the heat loss due to the radiation, incomplete combustion, lubricating oil, which remains unaccounted for us. Okay, so first we are going to see heat equivalent to bp. Heat equivalent to bp, we are going to calculate bp into 60. So this is the brake power which is calculated at the output shaft into 60 in terms of the kilojoule per minute, and this is the useful work. We are saying this is the useful work which is required to us. Okay, and remaining other parameters such like heat rejected to the cooling water. Heat rejected to the cooling water is calculated by the mw into cpw into bracket TWO minus TWI, where MW is the mass of the cooling water, CPW is the specific heat of the water, TWO water outlet temperature, TWI water inlet temperature, and that's why we are calculating this heat carried away by the water, that is MW CPW into bracket TWO minus TWI in terms of kilojoule per minute. Next is the heat carried away by the exhaust gases. So this is most important. Heat carried away by the exhaust gases, same way we are going to calculate, that is mg into cpg into bracket tge minus tsa. So here you can see the mg is the mass flow of the flue gases, or we are saying it as the exhaust gases, and this we are going to calculate ma plus mf. What do you mean by ma? Ma is the mass flow rate of the air, or we are saying it as the mass flow rate. Sorry, ma is the mass flow rate of the air, and mf is the mass flow rate of the fuel. So whenever we are going to add this, we are getting the mg value. Next, cpg is the specific heat of the gases. Next, tge, that is the temperature of the exhaust gas. TSA, that is the room temperature we are going to be considered. So heat carried away by the exhaust gases, we are taking it as mg into cpg into bracket tge minus tsa, and the unit for this heat carried away by the exhaust gases, that is kilojoule per minute. Next, we are going to see the unaccounted losses. Unaccounted losses we are going to calculate by simply taking the difference. We are taking the difference, such like heat unaccounted losses is equal to heat supplied minus into bracket heat equivalent to BP plus heat rejected to cooling water, heat carried away by the exhaust gases, bracket complete. So just we are going to take the difference and we are calculating the unaccounted losses. So this is the tabular forms representation of the heat balance sheet. So while solving the numerical, you have to draw at last this heat balance sheet. So just see here on the left side, heat supplied by for the combustion of the fuel, that is heat input, we are writing here mf into cv, and whatever the value we are getting in terms of the kilojoule per minute, we are writing over here. Okay, and in or we are writing here also. Okay, so the total we are getting here. So 100% we are saying it is, and how much way it is utilized, that is bp is equal to bp into 60, we are writing in kilojoule per minute, and percentage wise we are writing here. Friction power we can calculate, that is the this we are indicating as ip minus bp, we are getting the friction power In this way, heat carried away by the cooling water we can calculate, heat are carried away by the exhaust gases we can calculate, and unaccounted loss means whatever the value we are getting here, and we are subtracting the addition of this A, B, C, and D from this value, and we are getting unaccounted losses, and we are writing here in this tabular forms. So the addition of all these, we are getting the 100%, or whatever the heat supplied in terms of the kilojoule per minute, the addition of this all heat utilization is the same. So whenever these both values comes equal, then we are saying the heat is perfectly balanced over there. So this is the diagrammatic, or this is the tabular form representation of the heat balance sheet. So at full load, brake thermal efficiency of the SI engine is in the range of the 25 to 30%, but in case of the CI engine, it is the 30 to 40%. So this is the diagrammatic representation of the heat balance sheet, and we have seen the various formulas related with the heat balance sheet. So next we are going to see the measurement of the brake power. This is the most important aspect. Measurement of the brake power with the help of the brake rope, or we are saying that the rope brake friction dynamometer. So in this brake rope friction dynamometer, how we are going to calculate the a brake power. See, in this there is a indication of the spring balance. Okay, so and a rope is provided which is wound on the flywheel, and W is the weight we are seeing. So for the laboratory purpose, the rope brake friction dynamometer we are using, and that we are shown like this way. This dynamometer is attached to the brake drum, or we are saying it is at the flywheel attached to the engine shaft, and the rope is wound the flywheel and carries the wooden blocks at the two ends, okay, of the brake rope. So these are attached to the spring balance that S we were indicating, and dead weight on the other side, that is W we are saying. And the power of the engine absorbed as the frictional heat created between the rope and pulley surface, we are to be calculate. So the rope brake friction dynamometer, how we are going to calculate brake power, just see here, that is the W is the dead weight in mg we are going to calculate, that is the mass whatever there into G in terms of the Newton. S is the spring balance reading which we are getting on the S, and next RB is the radius of the brake drum. We can calculate the capital D plus small d upon 2, and capital D is the brake drum diameter, and the uh, that is the small d is the rope diameter. So RB, radius of brake drum, we can easily calculate, and N we are going to take in the engine RPM. So hence net brake load we are going to calculate W minus S, and braking torque we are going to calculate W minus S into RB. Just keep in the mind that is the W minus S is the net brake load we are getting, and while converting it into the braking torque, just we are going to multiply with the RB. RB is the radius of brake drum. And how we are going to calculate the brake power? BP is equal to W minus S into RB. This is braking torque into 2 pi n divided by 60. And we know that our generalized formula for the brake power BP is equal to 2 pi nt divided by 60, and that torque, that is the braking torque, for this rope brake dynamometer we are going to calculate W minus S into RB. So in this way we are getting the brake power, and once you know the brake power, you can easily calculate the brake mean effective pressure, and we have the formula BP is equal to PMEP LAN divided by 60,000 into number of cylinder. This is in terms of the kilowatt. So these all about the today's lecture. In today's lecture, we have seen the various formulas related with the IC engine testing. We have seen the performance parameter. In that performance parameter, we have discussed the brake power, then mechanical loss or frictional power, then indicated power. After that, we have seen some formulas related with the heat balance sheet. And after that, we are going to see the what is by heat balance sheet, what is the input, what are the expenditure or utilization, and we are representing it into the tabular forms. After that, measurement of the brake power with the help of the rope brake dynamometer we have discussed. So these all about the today's lecture. Thank you.